This morning in Erie, Pennsylvania, Mountain View firefighters responded to a garage fire. The vehicle burning inside was a Jeep Wrangler 4xe hybrid engine off. Parked, sitting completely still, it ignited itself. That's not a freak accident. That's a pattern. Right now, in 2026, over 1 million vehicles are under active recall for catastrophic engine failure. Brand new trucks are dying before the first oil change. Owners are receiving $5,000 repair bills on cars they bought specifically for reliability. Engine fires on vehicles people are still financing. 8 brands, 8 ongoing disasters, and every single manufacturer is hoping you never connect the dots. Number 8. Volkswagen and Audi's EA888 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Let me give you a number that should stop you cold. 16. As in 16 consecutive years of documented, litigated, unresolved engine problems in the same basic architecture. 2008 through 2024. That's not a defect. That's a policy decision. The EA888 has been VW and Audi's workhorse engine across dozens of models: the Jetta, Golf, Passat, Tiguan, the Audi A3, A4, Q3, Q5. If it has a VW or Audi badge and a 4-cylinder under the hood, there's a strong chance this is the engine. And last year, Volkswagen finalized a class action settlement tied specifically to turbocharger failure across that entire production window. But the turbo issue is almost secondary to what's happening internally. A separate ongoing lawsuit targets catastrophic oil consumption caused by defective piston rings. Here's what that means practically. The engine burns through oil between changes without telling you. No warning light, no obvious symptom until the level drops so low that metal starts grinding against metal. By the time most owners realize something is wrong, the damage is terminal. The fix isn't a top-off and a new filter. It's a complete engine replacement, typically running between $5,500 and $9,000 depending on the model. Compound that with known failures in the PCV valve system, recurring timing cover leaks, and water pump failure rates that experienced VW technicians describe as routine rather than exceptional. And you have an engine that attacks itself from multiple failure points simultaneously. Here's the detail that should anger every current VW buyer. The 2026 Volkswagen Tiguan, brand new, available at dealerships right now, still uses a version of this engine family. If you're standing in a VW showroom believing you're buying into decades of German engineering precision, verify the engine code first. Ask specifically whether the vehicle uses EA888 architecture. If the salesperson can't answer that question, walk to the service department and ask a technician directly. The OBD 2 codes to know on these engines: P0299 for turbo underboost, P0011, and P0021 for camshaft timing issues, and P0507 tied to PCV system failures. If you're buying used, a pre-purchase inspection with a live data scan is non-negotiable. Number 7. Jeep Wrangler and Grand Cherokee 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Jeep has built an entire brand identity around capability, toughness. The idea that whatever road throws at you, this vehicle handles it. That marketing is extremely effective. The 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder underneath it is the opposite of everything that marketing promises. In late 2025, approximately 100,000 Wranglers and Grand Cherokees were recalled after manufacturing defects created a documented risk of engine fire. Not rough running, not reduced performance, fire. In vehicles people were actively driving, actively financing, actively depending on. The failure profile on this engine is almost impressively comprehensive. Head gasket breach, cracked cylinder liners, fractured pistons, external oil leaks, coolant loss, and turbocharger failure. Mechanics who work on these describe it as an engine that never found its footing. For 2026, Jeep introduced a redesigned 2.0-liter for the Grand Cherokee. Zero long-term reliability data exists on it yet. My strong advice: let 24 months of real-world ownership data accumulate before considering it. Someone else's first year is not your proving ground. Number 6. Ford's 1.5-liter EcoBoost 3-cylinder. Ford's EcoBoost lineup was supposed to represent the future of efficient performance. Smaller displacement, forced induction, better fuel economy without sacrificing power? On paper, it's a compelling engineering argument. In practice, the 1.5-liter 3-cylinder version, found in the Ford Escape and the Bronco Sport, has become one of the more quietly troubling engines in Ford's current lineup. What's happening is coolant intrusion. The head gasket is failing in a specific way that allows engine coolant to migrate directly into the combustion cylinders. When that happens, the consequences escalate fast. Owners report sudden overheating, dramatic loss of compression, and in the worst cases, hydrolock, where coolant fills a cylinder so completely that the piston has nowhere to go. An engine cannot compress liquid. Something has to give, and what gives is usually catastrophic and permanent. This is not a new problem for Ford. Earlier iterations of the EcoBoost family, the 1.5 and 1.6-liter 4-cylinder versions, faced lawsuits targeting this exact failure mode years ago. Ford acknowledged the issue, made engineering modifications, and indicated the problem was resolved. The fact that we're now seeing similar complaints emerge on the 3-cylinder variant in newer model years suggests those modifications didn't address the fundamental thermal stress characteristics that caused the gasket to fail in the first place. What makes this particularly dangerous is the failure pattern. This engine doesn't typically give you a gradual warning. There's no slow temperature climb that gives you time to pull over safely. Owners describe normal operation followed by sudden, complete loss of power. When that happens on a highway at speed, it's not just an expensive problem. It's a safety event. Repair costs for a full engine replacement on the Escape and Bronco Sport are currently running between $4,800 and $7,200 at independent shops, higher at dealerships. The OBD2 codes associated with early stages of this failure include P0217 for engine overtemperature and P0301 through P0303 for cylinder-specific misfires, which can indicate coolant contamination before the situation becomes terminal. If you own one of these and see those codes, stop driving and get it inspected immediately. Number 5. Honda's 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. This one is genuinely difficult to report because Honda's reputation isn't marketing mythology. It's earned. Decades of documented longevity data, owner testimonials, used car values that hold precisely because the engines inside them outlast the competition. Honda built that reputation engine by engine, model year by model year, which makes what's happening with the 1.5-liter turbo so much worse. When this engine launched in 2016, oil dilution was the immediate red flag fuel contaminating the engine oil, degrading its viscosity, accelerating internal wear. Honda issued updates. The conversation quieted, but the underlying architecture carried a second failure waiting to surface, and it has. The head gasket on this engine is failing at mileages that would be considered early life for any Honda, commonly between 55,000 and 90,000 miles. When it goes, coolant enters the combustion chamber directly. The engine doesn't gradually decline, it ends. Replacement costs on the Accord and CR-V are consistently landing between $4,500 and $6,000 on vehicles people purchased, with the explicit expectation of never facing that kind of bill. Honda is currently named in an active class action lawsuit. No extended warranty program has been announced. No meaningful goodwill initiative exists at scale. The exit path is narrow but real. Honda is phasing this engine out. The hybrid Accord and hybrid CR-V use different powertrains entirely and are not affected. If you're shopping either model, confirm the engine code before signing. The difference between a Honda that runs forever and a $5,500 repair bill is sometimes a single powertrain option on the same vehicle. Number 4. GM's 1.2-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder. There is a fundamental engineering tension at the heart of this engine that no amount of software tuning or revised tolerances has been able to resolve. It is a small displacement motor being asked to perform well beyond what small displacement motors are built to sustain long-term. GM took a 3-cylinder architecture, bolted a turbocharger to it, and dropped it into the Chevy Trax, Trailblazer, Buick Encore GX, and Envision vehicles marketed to buyers who prioritize practicality, affordability, and low running costs. The engine underneath that promise is delivering the opposite. Owners are reporting bearing failure, connecting rod damage, sudden complete loss of propulsion, and in multiple documented cases, total engine seizure on highways with no preceding warning indicators. The failure isn't gradual. There's no escalating knock that gives you a week to plan. The engine produces normal operation until it doesn't, and then it's finished. What compounds the frustration significantly is the supply chain reality. Replacement engines for this platform are currently back-ordered, with verified wait times ranging from 6 weeks to over 4 months at multiple dealerships across the country. GM has no meaningful loaner vehicle program in place for affected owners. People are losing their primary transportation, sometimes their only transportation, for months, with no resolution timeline and no compensation structure. Class action litigation has been filed. A formal recall has not yet been issued, though NHTSA complaint volume on this engine has been climbing consistently. If you own one of these vehicles, check your oil level every 2 weeks minimum and treat any unfamiliar knocking or ticking from the engine bay as an emergency, not a monitoring situation. Number 3. Hyundai and Kia's 2.0-liter Theta II 4-cylinder. If you have followed automotive news at any point in the last decade, that name landed with weight, and it should. The Theta II is not merely a problematic engine. It is the most extensively documented, most litigated, most federally investigated engine failure story in modern American automotive history. Millions of vehicles recalled across multiple waves. Rod bearing failure, piston ring deterioration, engine seizures and spontaneous engine fires, including in parked vehicles, engines cold, no ignition event. Congressional hearings were held. NHTSA levied significant financial penalties against both Hyundai and Kia for their response timeline and communication failures. This engine became a case study in how corporate crisis management can amplify a mechanical problem into a full institutional accountability crisis. To their genuine credit, Hyundai and Kia have largely transitioned their lineup to the newer SmartStream engine family, which is performing meaningfully better across reliability metrics. That progress is real and worth acknowledging. But here's the current, active, inexcusable problem. The 2026 Kia Seltos is still being sold today with the Theta II 2.0-liter 4-cylinder. You can walk into a Kia dealership this week and purchase a brand new vehicle powered by one of the most recalled engines ever installed in a consumer automobile. Verify the engine specification on any Seltos before proceeding. If it shows the 2.0-liter Theta II, leave. Number 2. Toyota's twin turbocharged V6. Brace yourself, because this one genuinely reframes what we thought we understood about one of the most trusted names in automotive history. Toyota. The brand whose reputation for reliability isn't just marketing. It's backed by resale data, owner longevity surveys, and decades of consumer reports ratings. People pay premiums for Toyota specifically because the engines are supposed to outlast everything else. The twin turbocharged V6 that debuted in the fully redesigned 2022 Tundra has been, without exaggeration, a structural betrayal of that reputation. Rod-bearing failures causing sudden, violent, complete engine destruction. Not gradual degradation, instantaneous catastrophic failure, with replacement costs routinely exceeding $15,000 on trucks that some owners had driven fewer than 10,000 miles. Toyota has issued 2 separate recalls covering 2022, 2023, and 2024 model years. 2 rounds of identified fixes, 2 rounds of engineering revisions, and now 2025 Tundra owners are filing the same complaints, describing the same failure signatures, experiencing the same outcomes. The root cause remains unresolved. Critically, this powertrain is not exclusive to the Tundra. The identical twin-turbo V6 is installed in the Toyota Sequoia, the Lexus GX, and the Lexus LX. A premium Lexus badge does not change the engine underneath it. The risk is in the powertrain, not the nameplate. Number 1. GM's 5.3-liter and 6.2-liter V8 engines in full-size trucks and SUVs. Everything on this list has been serious. Some of it has been shocking. But nothing we've covered today matches the scale, the documentation, or the sheer ongoing damage being done by General Motors' V8 engines in the Chevy Silverado, GMC Sierra, Tahoe, Suburban, and Yukon. These are America's best-selling, most depended upon vehicles, and right now, they are failing in numbers that should be generating federal intervention. Here's the core mechanical story. GM engineered an active fuel management system, also marketed as dynamic fuel management, in newer iterations, designed to deactivate cylinders during light throttle driving to improve fuel economy. The concept is legitimate. The execution has been catastrophic. The AFM system causes lifter collapse, specifically the roller lifters that control valve timing on the deactivated cylinders. When a lifter collapses, it doesn't fail in isolation. It sends metal fragments directly into the oiling system. Those fragments reach the camshaft, and within minutes you have complete, irreversible engine destruction. The repair isn't a lifter replacement. It's a full engine rebuild or replacement, currently running between $8,000 and $14,000 depending on displacement and model. What separates this from every other engine on this list is the mileage range at which it's happening. These failures are documented at 500 miles, at 1,200 miles, at 3,000 miles. Brand new trucks, first oil change not yet due, engine already destroyed. Owners describe hearing a single loud knock followed by immediate loss of power. No escalation period, no opportunity to respond. The 6.2-liter version adds a separate failure vector, entirely rod-bearing deterioration under high load conditions, independent of the AFM system. So, depending on which engine you have, you're facing either lifter collapse, bearing failure, or in some documented cases, both failure modes in the same engine at different points in its life. Here's what a veteran GM technician told me directly. The AFM delete, disabling the cylinder deactivation system, entirely through a calibration update or aftermarket controller, dramatically reduces lifter failure risk. GM knows this. Aftermarket companies have built entire product lines around solving a problem the manufacturer created and has not permanently fixed. That tells you everything about where GM's priorities are positioned. Replacement engine back orders on these platforms are currently stretching to 3 and 4 months at volume dealerships. No standardized loaner program exists. Owners of $65,000 trucks are waiting months without their vehicle and without compensation, while GM focuses engineering resources on next-generation platforms rather than resolving the defect currently destroying engines in millions of trucks already on the road. So here is where we land after covering all 8. The pattern across every engine on this list is identical. A manufacturer identifies a problem internally, calculates the cost of a proper fix against the projected cost of warranty claims and litigation, and chooses litigation. They count on most owners not connecting individual failures into a systemic picture. They count on the news cycle moving on. They count on you not knowing what to look for before you sign. You now know what to look for. Before any purchase, run the VIN through the NHTSA recall database at nhtsa.gov. Pull the technical service bulletin history, Ask the dealership service department, not the sales floor, what open complaints exist on that specific engine. And if you already own one of these vehicles, learn the OBD2 codes associated with early failure on your platform. Early detection is the difference between a sensor replacement and an engine replacement. If your engine has already failed, if you're sitting in a dealership waiting on a back-ordered replacement, if you've absorbed a 5-figure repair bill on a vehicle under warranty document, everything in writing, file a complaint directly with NHTSA, and contact an automotive consumer attorney. Your individual complaint contributes to the federal complaint threshold that triggers mandatory recall investigations. Your experience is data, and shared, it protects the next buyer from making the same mistake.